we are definitely getting into it. You ever seen a landscape like this in Pennsylvania? Anything close?
Not that comes off the top of my head, actually. I mean, no.
This, my friends, is scenic Pennsylvania. It's such a blessing. Such a special spot. Please, 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 if you're going to try to come up here, and you better know what you're doing because it's a rough way to get in. Please be respectful of this unique location. Walk on the rocks, tread carefully, take only pictures, leave only footprints. Pennsylvania never ceases to amaze me. Maybe we should modify this. Maybe we should try something a little less ambitious, or it feels nice out here now.
Yeah, a little bit humid. Well, I'm exaggerating so much. I remember it being. I mean, it can be similar when we went up there too. It's an uphill grade, but then when it got flat at the top.
Good morning, and welcome once again to another adventure. And as you can see behind me, I am joined by the one and only, the legendary Wandering Woodsman. I'm here with Cliff, and we are on a crazy mission today. Oh, look at that giant turkey vulture flying overhead. Look like a pterodactyl.
It's like an omen.
Yeah. Warning. Okay, so we are in State Game Lands 57. I'm not going to give the specific location, but we're going to be attempting to document one of Pennsylvania's unique and rare places known as the Bartlett Balds. Now, under any circumstances, this is going to be a strenuous and long hike. We're looking at about 8 to 10 miles, possibly over 1,000 feet of elevation gain. There's a mountain behind me. We are parked at a State Game Lands parking lot, and it was raining all morning coming up. These trails aren't marked. There's no service, so I wanted to come out here with one of the best men in Pennsylvania to explore together so we can navigate and work together. And it's always good when you're coming out to a place like this, especially for me the first time, have someone with you. I believe, Cliff, you have been here before.
Yeah, that was my failed mission to get to the highest point in Wyoming. Well, semi-failed.
Yeah. So, and you said it's a pretty rough go up there.
Remember we did Mount Miller, it just goes up and up.
Yeah. So we're looking for trouble, I guess. I don't know, but we're the right adventure. Yes, adventure, sure. Nature, adventure, discovery. You want it, you're gonna get it. And we're not even sure if we're gonna even make it up there, but we're gonna find out, and we're gonna try for you guys. So I'm rambling here, and it's a little after 8. It's about 8:15, and overcast skies. It's supposed to clear up, we think, but it's going to be wet. And let's start walking. Let's stop talking. See you up ahead, guys. Gator and Cliff out. So we're starting out in this little grassy field area. We've gone about 100 yards and my feet are already wet. So
let's turn back.
That's how it's going to be here. I should point out we were going to be joined by our friend and fellow adventurer Cole Swanger, but he had something come up at the last minute. He wasn't able to make it, so wish you would have been here, Cole. But we'll do our best to document the hike and show you what we find. Not easy picking up the trail here in the beginning, so we know the direction we got to go, but it looks like we're just kind of pushing through it here. There's the faintest of, maybe even it's like a deer path. Going through waist deep brush at the moment.
Yeah, soaking it up already. We gotta find that. Oh, here's the pine forest.
Continuing our way through this dark pine forest, and we've climbed about maybe 200 feet. Still looking for the old grade, and I haven't found it yet, but we think we're very close. This is not the kind of hike that you want to take the family and kids and say, hey, let's go for a hike in the woods. So this is the real deal here. So we believe we found our grade now, and I guess this was once a logging road at some point, but we got some elevation climb to go now, and it's gonna be a rough one, like we said. Cliff already took a spill, I almost went down, and we're just getting started. So is that the our creek here?
Down at the bottom, way down there. That
way down. It's not raining. There's rain falling off the trees. Everything's wet. The sun's trying to peek out. It's a little bit humid. If you're watching this, there's a major hurricane. What's the name of that storm?
Helen or Helene or something like that?
Hurricane Helene is pushing up through the southern states, and I'm not sure if it's affecting us here or not, but a little bit of humidity, a little warmer than I'd like, but not too bad. We are continuing up this grade. We're making pretty good progress. The beginning of the grade had some blowdowns and some high brush, but it hasn't been too bad. It's been very steady, about 10-12 feet wide, and we're moving steady on. We think we're about 3/4 of the way to the top. It's dark forest here. Sun went away, and we're moving on. What are you saying there, Cliff?
My GPS is saying like 200 feet.
Yeah.
To this crossroads right here.
I concur, because I just went up there.
Oh, okay.
And there's a big giant opening and a path to the right.
Yeah. So I remember there being something distinctive.
We've reached our first major trail junction, and if you can hear that, we're into a patch of rain now. It's light but steady. It's probably going to blow over in a little bit, but it's definitely adding to the wild feel here of this expedition, the Bartlett Balds Expedition with the Wandering Woodsman, as we push onward. So we appear to be walking on an old Jeep road. Or it could be an old ATV road. There's distinctly a built-up area in the middle right now and ruts to the left and right. Very muddy, even though we've been in drought conditions, nearly drought conditions. As Cliff was saying, we're on a plateau. When it rains, the water sits up here and gets absorbed like a sponge in the ground. Seeing a little bit of fall color too. It's getting real beautiful out here now. So the rain is continuing. It's not too bad though. The trees are absorbing most of it. And we're basically walking on the rim of the mountain. Out to our right would be probably a great view if there was a clearing, which there's not. You have any thoughts on the trail so far? Or?
It's pretty much what I remember.
Okay.
I mean, the way up was better, but this is, I remember it being like this, just up here in the middle of nowhere. This is looking...
It's looking baldy.
Baldy. First real color of the day too.
So we've just gotten our first taste of the balds here on Zeller Bald.
Yeah.
And I want to make a point of emphasis here. This is a very special, very unique, and very fragile environment. So we're going to take every effort to walk on bare rock and on any established footpaths, because there is all these different species of moss and lichen on the ground, these colorful different species, and we don't want to trample any of that. So that's something, you know, you need to be considerate of in these type of special landscapes. Soon after crossing Zeller Bald, we reached a junction of trails we dubbed 5 Points. Uncertain how to proceed, we ventured off trail, moving generally north. Rain began to intensify as we followed the faintest of game trails deeper into the wood. We've come up to some sort of almost grassy, like savanna meadow type habitat. Now, completely different look once again. You see this guy here? I'm following him. Does he look like someone you would follow? We are definitely getting into it now, fellas.
The weather has, we're like, this is insane.
The rain has not let up, and this is about as wild and as you're going to get in eastern Pennsylvania, I think.
Looks like people come through here.
You think?
It looks all like trampled. I don't know.
They don't call him the Wandering Woodsman for nothing.
Oh, this is getting thick now, though.
We're following the faintest of footpath. As a matter of fact, I think it's probably a game trail, a deer trail, bear trail, who knows up here. But we are heading in the direction of the East Balds. It's so beautiful out here. There's so many different colors of shades of green, and then pockets where it looks fall-like. It's absolutely gorgeous up here and wild, but the going is rough. The Pennsylvania Natural Heritage Program is a partnership between the Pennsylvania Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission, the Pennsylvania Game Commission, and the Western Pennsylvania Conservancy, in cooperation with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. Natural heritage refers to the collective biological diversity, including plants, wildlife, ecosystems, and geological structures. The Pennsylvania Natural Heritage Program gathers and provides information on the location and status of these important ecological resources in Pennsylvania. Red Spruce Rocky Summit Plant Community. This type is known in the state from only one example, in Wyoming County, northeastern Pennsylvania. The site is north-facing on fractured bedrock at an elevation of about 2,200 feet. Woody species occur in pockets of soil that have accumulated in cracks in the bedrock. There are extensive areas of bare or lichen-encrusted rock. Aside from red spruce, tree species include gray birch, pitch pine, red pine, eastern white pine, eastern hemlock, and red maple. Trees are small in stature and shaped by exposure to wind and ice. Shrubs include black huckleberry, low bush blueberry, black chokeberry, American mountain ash, mountain holly, and sheep laurel. So that is definitely a trail marker. The way that stone is pointing up like that, that's not a coincidence. So we believe with fair confidence we've now reached what is known as the East Balds. And the rain's beginning to stop or dissipate. And we're going to be heading in this direction, walking along the rocks through this landscape. And it's been an adventure. We continue on. Absolutely incredible out here. Very rare to see spruce like this, healthy spruce forest. Reminds me of West Virginia. Wow, this is amazing. So beautiful. So we're making our way now through these East Balds, and Cliff, you've traveled more through Pennsylvania than anyone I know. Probably almost anyone out there, really. Have you ever seen a landscape like this in Pennsylvania? Anything close?
Not that comes off the top of my head, actually. I mean, Not, yeah, no.
We feel like we're traveling through a landscape of a much more northern latitude. Canada or Maine is what it looks like out here. This is incredible.
We continued on slowly across the rocks, passing fantastical looking, contorted and wind-shaped trees. Pockets of mosses and lichen formed islands of color, while tiny birches and maple displayed their autumn hues. I was in awe of my surroundings. How had this truly one-of-a-kind ecosystem managed to survive here?
So if you notice on this gnarly white pine that has this island of vegetation, look at how the branches are all facing in that direction, indicating the prevailing winds here on top of the mountain as it's grown in its life. And I'm loving these spruce trees too. A little bit of mist and fog in the air.
Getting out might be a problem. Might set the camera down somewhere. No, now the butt's getting wet. Oh yeah. You can get down in here. There's Walter. Farewell, Walter.
I'll take the high ground.
Oh wow. Thank you.
So we're right off of the Balds now, and we're in these channels and caves, crevices everywhere. Totally wild, classic Pennsylvania mountain plateau scenery and habitat. Absolutely wild and beautiful out here. Cliff is going through every cave and crevice he can find. Alright, so according to Cliff's directions, he says there's a cave marked right about where we are. I'm going to turn you around and show you what we see in here. We are inside the cave now, and it goes back a good little bit of a way. It's nice and dry in here, and this is definitely a nice place for some animals to shelter. Big spider webs everywhere. Maybe one of the Wandering Woodsman's elusive mountain lions is back in that hole. Pretty awesome stuff. What an adventure.
Let's go. It's dry here. I'll try it on the outside.
So we were exploring some of them crevices and little caves and little mini canyons. Now we're in a position here where we're going to have to bushwhack or find a way from the East Balds, where we currently are, to the Bartlett Balds. And that's what we're trying to do right now. Is we're using compasses, we're using maps, we're using apps, everything we can to try to determine a route. We know we need to head roughly to the left of us. Just wondering if there's a pathway through here or not. It's starting to look like there's not going to be. We are heading back in the direction we came. Cliff has a paper map. According to that map, there is a small foot trail known as the Orange Dot Trail that should lead us to in the direction of the Bartlett Balds. You know, whether we can find it, that's another question, but if anybody can, it's us. We're gonna hug this perimeter because we know it comes in over here somewhere.
As we continued to look for a path out of the East Balds, we came upon this large field of rough cotton grass. According to the Pennsylvania Biological Survey, cotton grass reaches the southern end of its range here in Pennsylvania. The Pennsylvania Biological Survey considers rough cotton grass to be a species of special concern based on the few locations recently confirmed in the specialized bog habitat. It has a PA legal rarity status, and a Pennsylvania Biological Survey suggested rarity status of endangered.
So we're in one of these situations here where we're not lost, but we don't exactly know how to proceed forward. We're looking for a little barely used side trail. Could be right in front of us and we might not even see it. Back into one of these fields of tall grasses. I just had my compass out. I'm trying to get oriented, and it's just not easy out here, but it's part of the adventure. Again, don't even think of trying to come up here unless you're experienced, you're confident, you have a partner, and you have everything you need to survive for a night, for example. This isn't a walk in the park. This is
super easy to get turned around.
Yeah, like everything kind of looks the same after a while. Here's the first sign of any kind of
guidance
or human intelligence. I don't think an animal did that in what, about an hour, 45 minutes?
Yeah.
So we're heading roughly northbound, northwest, I believe. So if you ever wanted to know what bushwhacking through the woods is like, this is it. You pick and weave your way the path of least resistance while generally trying to go in the direction you want to go, which is what we're doing. I think this would be impossible to do in the summer with all the vegetation, or extremely difficult and hazardous. You know, this place is probably got plenty of snakes, but not now. Not this time of year, anyway. That's one good thing. Update time. We're sitting here, we're having some snacks, making some small talk, and it's about 2 o'clock. We've been out here for about 6 hours in the rain. We're soaked. We've been bushwhacking for the last over an hour, and we're going to stop here. We've documented the East Balds, which you saw, which was incredibly beautiful. So even though my goal here today was to reach the Bartlett Balds, guess what? We're saving that for another trip in the future. We are making a decision to turn back and head back to the car. We're soaked. We're tired. We've accomplished a lot, and but it's rough out here. Like Cliff said, this is a wild area. It's not easy to navigate, and that's about as much bushwhacking as I've done in quite a while. So anyway, that's where we're at. We're going to head back the way we came in. We may make one more stop at one more place of significance on the way down. And I'll be talking to you a little bit more as we go, but probably won't be filming too much. But it's what it's like out here in the woods. It's not all peaches and cream every time. As you see now on my last 2 adventures, the deeper you go in, the more challenging it is, and the more serious you got to be and responsible you got to be. So that's where we're at. So we are pretty close to the base of the mountain at this point. Now below us is a small stream called White Brook, and there's supposed to be a waterfall, and I'm debating on whether or not it's worth it to go down there to find it. I can't hear anything, and it's been such a drought level. I'm not sure it's worth it.
This feels like a horror movie.
I was just thinking the same thing. This is like a creepy looking forest. Something from like Twilight Zone or something.
Okay, cool.
Well, a bushwhack to the end.
Thorns in here at least.
Nature, adventure, discovery. Scenic Pennsylvania. Here with the one and only Wandering Woodsman. We had ourselves quite a little adventure here today.
Yeah.
I don't know how many miles we did, but we've been on trail for almost 8 hours. Bushwhacking a good portion of it. We were able to document the East Balds, and our goal originally was the Bartlett Balds, but it's the similar terrain, absolutely unique and special to Pennsylvania. Something like, it looked like something straight out of like Maine or Northern Canada. It was worth it. It was rough, but it was worth it. That's what adventure is all about, and an absolute honor to be out here with Cliff today. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you have any comments or questions, let me know down below. If you're not subscribed to the Wandering Woodsman's channel, then I don't know what planet you live on, but it's not Earth. And any final thoughts on the expedition today, Cliff? Other than you're tired and your knees hurt?
My knees hurt, I'm wet. But but when you feel like this at a hike, it's kind of a good thing. I mean, not always, but usually it means you had quite an adventure. So.
Well, we worked for it, but
yeah.
we earned it. And
well, we were just up there.
it was a true adventure. We'll see you on the next one, guys. Take care. Be safe out there. And that's all for now.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good experience. Hopefully be seeing you in a couple weeks.
I'm never filming with you again.
It's always an adventure, right?
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Figured I'd get there one day again.
Now I feel like I gotta get there in a little while. All right. safe.
I mean, I'm having the time of my life, but there's very few people that I will go off trail
That's,
with.
I mean, I think we have a mutual respect
I
for
think
each other.
I think I've told you that before, but because there's very few people that would. I mean, it is rough and it is kind of miserable too, but I mean,
Who else gets to see this and do this?
I
You know what I
know.
mean? Like, you know, it's,
just not many people that. I don't know. You know.
I know what you mean.
I mean, it's not like it's. I mean, look at us. But I mean,